What's up, Bucs fans? We're back here with another edition of Pirate Parlay, brought to you by the Sick Podcast Network. Obviously, not the best outcome for the Buccaneers coming out their bye week to a loss, 20-6 loss to the Detroit Lions. But you know what? This team is resilient. They're going to bounce back. And you can see the building blocks to get there. And one of those building blocks is undrafted free agent rookie Christian Izien, who's been playing lights out for the Bucs at the slot position. We have him on the podcast today. So we're going to talk to him, chop it up a little bit. We'll be right back.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Pirate Parlay.
Battle intercepted, picked off in the end zone. Bucs are going to beat the Chiefs. We're the champions of the world.
The sickest Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast. It's gonna be sick.
We are back at it again. Another guest, guys. I've been so blessed and fortunate to have all these Bucs players and coaches on this season to provide you guys some great content. And I'm excited that you guys have been here, tuning in, subscribing, liking. We're really building this thing, and this is just the beginning. So excited to have our next guest on. He's really came on out of nowhere after being undrafted and secured the starting nickel position really early on in training camp. And so far, early on in the season, made his presence felt and has continued to do that throughout the games. We're going to bring him on now. Christian Izien, nickelback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Christian, how are you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. Happy to have you on here, man. And let's just talk about it. Out of nowhere, it seems like you've just taken over this position by storm, secured it, locked it down, and produced. How did all this come to fruition so quickly in your rookie year?
Yeah, just having a plan coming out of the draft, undrafted, and having an idea, speaking with my people, and where the best fit for me would be, and that ultimately being Tampa, and just having Coach Bowles, the staff, those guys get me, ready to go pretty early. Coming in OTAs, I rep that nickel as safety, so just having to learn that tedious playbook within a small period of time has allowed me to just transform into becoming a smarter player over time.
Talk about that too. Undrafted, nobody wants that to happen. Everyone wants to be taken. But as the rounds continue to start to dwindle down, you get into that end of the sixth, beginning of the seventh. It's almost beneficial for you to go undrafted at that point. It's things not hearing your name, of course, but then you get to choose and pick your own destination. And you look at this Bucs roster after the draft. They were set at cornerback with Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis. They were set seemingly with Antoine Winfield Jr. and Ryan Neal. There was, however, a spot with AWJ going back to free safety at nickel cornerback. You played a little bit there at Rutgers, but what else was attractive about the Bucs to you that you're like, you know what, this is the place I want to sign above any other options you had? And what other options did you have?
Yeah, just starting with the other options that I had, I was between here, Kansas City. It was making a really strong bid, and that was something me and my agent was going back and forth about, just having that. And then the Jets and a couple other teams, but ultimately choosing Tampa, like you said, due to the position, needs and where I felt the best fit for me was, and just as far as the schematical standpoint is how often they use the nickel, and how do they use the nickel. So getting here, just having an opportunity to learn that and become more adaptive with the position has helped me a lot.
Do you feel like the nickel position, I'm kind of going out of line here, but I just bring that up. The nickel position, because of your stature and obviously other guys in the backfield, it's easier to secure a spot there than it is on the outside corners or maybe even one of the safety spots?
I would say I don't think any position is honestly easy to tell, but just the nickel position is so, I would say no, it's kind of, a little more difficult because different coaches like different things in their nickels. And, some coaches like, just a coverage guy, not much in a run fit, not much, blitzing, but out there to strictly cover a slot receivers. And then other coaches like the safety type body builds where they can, be a downhill safety in a run, but also cover. And I feel like that's where I fit more in this defense. And I think that's just something Coach Bowles likes.
And, I don't want to linger on it too long, but we will bring up this past weekend. The Lions just, it seemed like they got the better of you guys in certain situations. You guys still held them to under 20 points on the day, but what was it about the Lions game plan that they presented problems for you guys to kind of limit the explosive plays and the big plays that they had?
The Lions, off film, they do a lot of things they simply did on film to what they did, which is kind of tough for us to handle because they weren't tricky. They just executed really well, and I will credit them to that. They did a really good job executing their scheme, and they did a better job than we did that day. And that's all it was, really.
You look at the guys you've had to face so far. There's been no shortage of talented receivers. Last week with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson to start the season, Devontae Smith in week 3. You get a guy like Chris Olave who shut down in week 4. Just like going up and getting tossed into the fire with some of the NFL's best. What has that been like, and which one was the toughest to cover, and how has that been for your growth and development?
Like you said, you just named all those really good receivers around this league, and they all have different skill sets and different pros to their game, who makes them who they are, and just having the confidence in myself, knowing I'm in this position for a reason, and not questioning any of that. Coach Bowles, he put me in a position because he I'm ready for the moment, and that's something that I feel always give myself the confidence with. That I know that I'm big enough for this moment. It's not too much bigger than what I am, and not making it more than what it is. It's just football. At the end of the day, I've been playing since I was 6, so you can't change that. But those just having those different guys and watching film on all of them, because they all have different schemes of how they get open and different attributes to how they do it, and just studying for that week, preparing for that person. That's always been a good challenge.
Who was the toughest for you?
I would say the toughest for me, it just being in the slot. Like St. Brown gave me he gave me some really good work just in the slot, as far as doing a good job of finding spots to sit down in zones, timing up his routes. I think they did a really good job with just running their routes and kind of getting in the way a little bit of what our defense schematical, things were. So they did a really good job of just picking up blitzes, getting the ball out their hand fast.
Now, like when you look at those matchups and because you rewatched the film, has there been anything that like you've watched in those matchups that you're like, oh wow, okay, this is a good learning teaching point for my next matchup, or to carry over it with a similar, like what's been like the one thing rewatching and be like, oh, like an aha moment, like, oh wow, I did this, I could have done this would have been better, I need to utilize this, add this to my tool bag for later.
Yeah, just knowing what when the time and place is to show certain schemes, and just get more comfortable showing different looks. As far as playing nickel, I feel like the nickel is the position the quarterbacks, they take their eye off last, before they snap the ball. So depending on what I'm showing or what type of look I'm giving them can really kind of predetermine where they think they're going with the ball. So just between week and week, just watching myself do self-assessment first before I cover, look at other guys, just knowing what can I do to help my defense be victorious for this one play.
You mentioned not making the moment too big for you, and first 2 games, moment certainly wasn't too big for you, with 2 huge plays, the interception that you kind of ripped away, and then the other one to ice the game there. You've come away with big game moments early on this season, showing that this moment is not too big for you. What do you credit that to, as far as being able to make those plays? I mean, you had some big moments. I think you had a 3 interception or 4 interception game in college at Rutgers, right? Was it?
Yeah, 2 interceptions or 4 takeaways in one game. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're no stranger to taking the ball away, but to be able to do it on this level and kind of say, "Hey, welcome to the NFL. Here I am," and you're not shy about it either. You'll tell people on Twitter, "I love that about you."
Yeah.
You'll put it out there. Hey, I like this picture best for the next time I saw it. What do you credit that to?
Yeah, just part of that, like, being, the underdog guy in all the situations that I've been in, going to each different level or each different stage of football, and, just being a guy that's unknown and, ultimately comes out, with whatever comes with it. So just, having that confidence and that chip on my shoulder that I'm the rookie, I'm the only rookie on the field, that the ball must be coming to me when I come in, just having that as my mind. I told Shaq before that drive and during the Minnesota Viking game, I'm like, Shaq, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna get a pick this drive. We got to kill this momentum, and just having that about it. Like, yeah, it might not have been an interception, but I took the ball from him, so it counts. So it's like just having that edge to me.
That's an interception. That's a heck of it. It's one thing to, like, the guy falls down or you jump up and you get it, but to take the ball away from somebody and say, "This is mine," who is literally going into the end zone, that's more badass, bro. This is more badass than
I appreciate it.
What did Shaq do after you got that pick? Because you told him you're gonna. What did he say? Did he say anything to you?
Shaq, yeah, he was just telling. He was in the camera. He told me he's going to do it. He told me he was going to do it. And on the head, I got up a little rattle on the head. So I'm like, just no one smacked my head. No one smacked my head. So it was a great moment. Not understanding the moment truly, the moment, because we didn't know how that game was going to end. But ultimately seeing the game end the way it did, and that moment being important as it was great for us.
Did you keep the ball?
I did not keep the ball. I threw the ball away. I did get a game ball, but I did not keep that ball, unfortunately, no.
Did you keep the second one?
No. The second one I tried to keep. I jumped up in the stands, and I was jumping up, and the ball got hit out my hand. And then I just see the ball linger to the crowd. I'm like, damn, I wanted that ball. And then I see someone on Twitter posted. Someone said, I got the game ball. I wanted to contact them, but I'll get more in the future for sure.
Yeah, you gotta get maybe this week coming up against Ritter.
Yeah.
Just put 3 last week, so he's prone to do it.
Hey,
that was doubly bad because you got to pay for that ball too, right? It's like $100.
Yeah.
Got to pay for that. I know Mike hands him out a lot. He's probably got a whole checking account full of just balls that he's thrown away. But you talk about the impact you're able to have right early on, and everyone talks about how difficult this system is. The Todd Bowles system is so difficult, and it's not that it's difficult because of the playbook or anything. It's because of how versatile he asks his defenders to be. He lines up people. Vita Vea, I say this, I feel like I've said this on every podcast, but he drops Vita Vea in coverage, puts him in the linebacker position. He's not afraid to put guys in different positions, in different looks that will drive the quarterback mad. And he'll do that with you as well. We saw this week, and we'll get to that a little bit more, but you're blitzing a little bit more this week, more than you have in the past. But what about that system is difficult? How difficult was it for you? Obviously not as difficult because you land that starting job, but what do you like about the system too?
I like that the system allows players, like when they draft players, they draft them for certain skill sets, and I like how the system fits the players and it allows their skill sets to blossom. He puts guys, that maximizes their position and what their skill sets are and put those in those positions. So that's what I feel like, the flexibility for playing safety and playing nickel. There's times when I'm dropping into the half or I'm deep, down the field. So it allows me to show various parts of my skill set. I feel like, that's something that he does a really good job of, having guys like me blitz and do different things. So guys like Vita dropping, Vita's an athletic guy for his size. So him dropping, I got no problem with it. So.
What is it about the system that tends to make people think it's difficult? You hear some positions like some position players say it's a difficult system to learn. It takes a while to pick it up. What is it that's challenging about this system though?
I would say just, from initially coming to the Bucs, when I came to the OTAs, I told you I was taking reps at nickel and safety, and I think it was about the first 2-3 installs was about 75 plays. So I was learning double, like 100 something plays in 3 days. So my mind was kind of all over the place. I was taking reps at both. So I can say that part maybe just, getting a grasp of learning the entire playbook, in such a small period of time. But, that's what this business is. And, just understand that having that, thrown at me early in my career can help me adjust, whatever situation that come up forward. So
and it's a little easier now that you're in the install period where it's just weekly installs. You don't have the whole playbook under your belt, to reference every single week. Does he throw plays that aren't in that install though? That game plan, or you're just out there and he's like, this isn't in the game plan this week. Does he do that to you guys?
He's done a good job. He was doing a really good job, keeping us inside the play, inside the game plan. He's a really smart guy, so he sets a script of plays that he wants to run, and he does a good job of having an idea and an eye for catching, what plays he's expecting to put in those certain calls. So, when we get the calls out the huddle, there's never like a blank moment where we're thinking, why is he calling this? We have an idea of what the situation is and why he's calling it.
As far as adjustments too, he's one of the best at making those defensive adjustments to try to take away what's working that working against you guys as a defense. When he does call those adjustments, what is that like out there? Are you guys going to him and saying, this is what we're seeing? Is it just strictly what he's seeing? How does that conversation work? And how do those adjustments come in, whether it's at halftime or even in game situation?
As we go through drive, we see things that, whether we've seen or we haven't seen, we communicate with our defensive staff coaches, they communicate back with us, what are we seeing? We tell them what we are seeing. So, it's just active communication of, of what that we want, something that we want to adjust, and it gets fixed. Like I said, he has a backup plan for his plan A. He does a really good job even repping that in practice. Well, if we don't like this look, we can run into this, or certain formations, we have certain calls for this. This look. So, like I said, there's some times where we have multiple calls within a look. So you got to be, headsy, but you got to study. This is what we do. So,
Right.
just running a complex defense, it confuses them much more than it confuses us.
So on any given play, it's kind of like a wide receiver, right? He's got a route tree, and depending on what the defense is giving him, he either veers off to a post, a flag, or whatever it is on his route tree. You guys, when you line up and see what the offense is in, you guys have different defensive plays for whatever they line up in, and you just obviously just call it out to each other. Is that how it
Yeah,
goes?
that's just dependent on the situation. Obviously, it's not every play we're going out there with multiple calls.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, still got to play fast, but he does a really good job of putting us in a this or that situation.
Oh, that's interesting. As far as you've talked about a few times, slot versus safety, you're being cross-trained at both of those positions with your versatility, with Winfield's versatility, even with Ryan Neal for a bit too. I mean, he's played a good amount of free safety compared to the snaps in the box that he played. You three are all kind of interchangeable in that. Then you throw D. Delaney on the field and forget about it. Like you guys can all line up at any position, pretty much outside cornerback. What position do you feel more at home at? And what position do you foresee your like long-term spot in the NFL and with the Bucs with?
Yeah, I felt really again becoming really comfortable playing nickel. This year, so much to grow from. So much things I want to still learn, and the adjustments that I want to make to my game playing nickel. But long term, I do want to play safety. I do want to be on the field three, 4 snaps per drive or per down. So I don't want to be someone interchangeable coming in and out the field. I feel like I have that game changing ability where I can be on the field every down. So that's something I do want to be comfortable with doing as well in this league. It's all about versatility. So the more you can do, the better.
Do you feel like your fit is better at free or strong? I know they're interchangeable nowadays, but
Like you said, they're interchangeable. So wherever different coaches use different strong and free differently. So honestly, I'm comfortable playing in the box as well as playing deep in the post.
gotcha. Oh, I mean, obviously, free safety is probably locked up for a while now. If the Bucs, take care of business with Antoine Winfield Jr. in the offseason. But Ryan Neal's only on a 1-year deal, so that's interesting. Just because of the ability to, like you said, play in the box, play deep. You do both. Ryan Neal's doing both right now. Antoine's doing both right now in both system. He likes versatility out of his guys to be able to not be handicapped by one or the other guy. Both guys can cover. Both guys can, come up and run fits. Both guys can blitz if they need to. And that just allows his defense to be more versatile. And the more versatility you show, more opportunities you get. Speaking about blitzing and coming up, like I said, he did that a lot more in Detroit. How much of that was in that game plan script, or how much was that just like, okay, we can send Christian because we're getting these certain looks. Let's send him on these certain types of blitzes.
Yeah, as you go through a week, you have certain calls you want to call to certain down and distances or looks per se. So I would say when I was in there were more, situations that came up that, that would involve me or need me to blitz. And, they're a really good running team. So me getting in there on some short yardage things, would probably help or benefit the defense. So maybe just a lot of more situational stuff this week rather than last per weeks before. So that would probably why I blitzed a little more you've seen this week than other weeks.
How mad were you that you didn't get a sack?
I was really close. I was really close on one of these third downs. I was like, should I hit him? I don't want to hit him. I don't want to be the reason why if he completes it, it's a first down. So,
all right.
I'm itching for my first one, honestly.
I know you got that. Well, you got the interception out of the way. You just need a force fumble and a sack to round out the trifecta for your.
I'm gonna try to get at the same time. So,
hey, there you go. Right, strip sack. Yeah. So Bowles' defense, we talked about it. It's just crazy. He plays you in zone. He plays you in man. He plays you in this zone match coverage, which is, something that's like not many defenses do. What do you like about each of those coverages that he puts you in?
It just allows me to display how well-rounded my game is and how well-rounded I'm becoming, as a defender and playing nickel position. It was something I wanted to clean up a bit or just fine-tune more coming out of college, playing press man-to-man coverage, against some of the best receivers, in the league. So I'm having those good challenges in these first few weeks that we've been playing ball, just having an opportunity to cover, good receivers of those calibers. just give me something, get me set, for the rest of my career, just taking on those challenges early on.
What's your favorite to play? Are you more that press man coverage, or you like that zone, or that zone? That zone match is wild that he does sometimes, huh?
Yeah, it's defense where you really got to, play with your eyes, play with your eyes and feet, and just be really a detail oriented, having pre-snap, just adjustments in your head or pre-snap visuals that you're going through to maybe know, like, you kind of expect what's coming up, so you're not guessing on the fly. But I just love being down there, being in the box, playing man, and, sometimes playing zone, and kind of matching it up. So I can't pinpoint one thing that I would say, but I just like being down there, playing with the QB's mind.
Right. You got to get all those things kind of create the complete, package there. You get your opportunity to in zone coverage, you get a little bit more opportunity to take the ball away. And man, you get to show your physicality and kind of just erase a guy, which is always fun. I got this guy, I'm gonna erase him. He's not even an option on this route. That's awesome. So like when you're lined up against a wide receiver, let's say in man, how do you try to get him to tip his hand? How do you try to get him to kind of see where his release is going? What are the things? Some of the things you do on the line of scrimmage matched up against him?
There's different things called for different situations, like down and distance. Sometimes just if playing man, try to give him one way to go and see, what his route's going to be, depending on, his timing, how fast he's running that route. Is there a play action behind him that's allowing him to get more time? Just different things like that, kind of feeling his split, where he's out in the field, and that's just all going back to film. So, having a good idea of what they're going to run in that play with a lot of times help me, guard those guys.
Do you prefer directing them inside or outside? Which do you feel more comfortable in one way or the other?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, certain calls like maybe playing two man will allow me to play, a more heavy inside. But honestly, I just like playing outside, force him inside to the middle of the field player, just play ball. Because that's honestly man to man. If he runs a dig, you're responsible for that still too. So, outside man to man press.
Absolutely. As far as the defensive backs, and I think I know the answer to this one, and we'll get to it a little bit, but who's been the biggest help for you when you come in? You're learning two positions. Who's been that guy that's kind of taking you under the wing and has been there to answer all your questions for you and kind of, helped you get up to speed as quickly as you have?
Yeah, I would say obviously the obvious answer is, Winfield, just coming from the nickel position and, playing safety his rookie year. I went to him immediately. I got a chance to meet with him, before I knew I was coming to the Bucs. I trained in a facility where he trained at in all season. So getting a chance to meet him, tell him, I watched his film while I was in college, I idolized his game, all those things, and I ended up playing on the same team as him. It was kind of like one of those crazy coincidences where I could get to be able to pick his mind on a daily basis of how playing the nickel position, varies from playing safety and the things he did during his time playing both.
And you had his position coach too in college at Rutgers, right?
Yeah, Coach Harrison, yep.
So you got that early leg up on what to do, and it's crazy how that happens. Where you guys are, you're kind of called Antoine Winfield Light. He's been established, so that's the reason why you get the light. But you're obviously making a name for yourself now. It's Christian Izien. But it's kind of surreal how that all happens. Where this is the guy that you watch film, you get his college coach, then you come here, then you take his spot. Because he was the starting nickel spot last year, so now you come in and take the spot that he manned last year, and you get to learn from him, and how is because Tweez is awesome. He's been great to get to know over the last couple of years. He's always been really, coming on my podcast and just great to talk to in the locker room. But how has he made you better as a player? How has he helped that growth of yours?
Yeah, I would just say the first to start off with is his work ethic, during practice, and how he approaches practice like a game, and every rep to him, he finishes on the ball full speed in a stance, in a tackle position. And that's just something, I feel like a leader does, and he's that guy that wants me to take the extra step, in practicing. And as much as I see myself as a professional, even before I became an NFL player, he's the role model of that. He does, things right on every play. I think that kind of translates into the game as far as, his play, him making plays all around the field.
Yeah, I mean, you look at him captain this year for the first time, and really been playing at all pro level so far. Not a bad guy to have as a mentor, as someone to look up to and kind of model your game after. That's for sure. Another guy who's played safety. long time ago, ages ago. We're talking about your head coach, Todd Bowles. He was a safety. I know he's been shy about bringing it up and, bringing up any film or anything like that for you guys to watch. He's like, they'd have to get in their Google machines and look it up. But how hands-on is he with you guys? I mean, you think that of all the position groups on the defense, that the safety room, that DB room, that he's like, that's the room that he's got his fingerprints all over. How hands-on is he with you guys there?
Yeah, just that he's really hands-on. He comes to our individuals, before practice. We just do things, that help us throughout the week, be the best versions and put us in the best positions. So he's really good, just playing with the safeties and, helping us get in the right spots and telling us how we can play things this way, rather than that way. So I would say he's really hands-on with that position for sure.
I heard the DBs spend a lot of time in his office. Have you made your way up there? Are you one of those guys hanging out in his office, watching film and chopping it up?
Yeah, yep. We do spend a lot of time, just out there getting just a more direct, just answers to things. And the way he breaks it down, he makes it really simple, the game plan of how to use certain personnels and what guy does what. And it kind of breaks the game down into really simple parts.
Are you more of like a hands-on or a tape learner, or like how do you learn what you're going up against? Like, the walkthroughs help you the best? Does watching the tape help you the best? Does breaking it down in the DB room help break it down for you the best? How do you learn the best? Because everyone's different learners.
Yeah, I've learned that I'm best on the field, just doing walkthroughs and getting reps at it. I would say there's no better indicator of speed than actually seeing a person move, in real time. So you can move and mark it back and forth as much as you want until you get on the field and you're pressed in a situation. You're never gonna get that actual feeling of how fast something's coming at you or how it looks. So on the field for sure.
And speaking of practice, I mean, you're as a starter, you're not going up against Mike and Chris and them that much anymore. You got the scout team that you're practicing against a lot of time during the week. But who'd you like covering the most in practice? Was it Mike? Was it Chris? Which guy gave you the biggest test? And who are you like when it came time for your rep? You're like, all right, let's go time. Was it Trey or was it? Trey likes to talk too.
Yeah, no, I would go off. I would say it was Russ. Early on in camp, Russell Gage. He gave me. I heard about his ability and how he ran routes and not at an insanely fast pace, but really smooth and winding down you down. So just getting a bit of that during training camp, it kind of really slowed me down and allowed me to be more patient because you miss with a guy like that and he's by you. So he's somebody who just gave me a different feel of the game and taught me to be more patient with my technique. But I also say a guy like Chris, where he beats me on a rep and then he stops immediately after to coach me about how to be better at that rep. Just guys like that, is that's in for like the best of the team. He didn't have to do that, coming in early along. So guys like that for sure.
Yeah, Chris is awesome about that. So vocal too. You saw it all camp, whether it was Baker or Trask too, going back and saying on this, when it was a completion or incompletion, having that constant communication with guys to help them get better. It's all for the benefit of the team. Russ, I gotta say, it's so unfortunate because you talk about this summer just his ability, but even last summer before he got injured with a hamstring, he was uncoverable. You were having like guys like Carlton and Jamel and Antoine say this guy's uncoverable because how quick and how smooth his route running is, and it's just a shame that the Bucs never got to see that with him banged up with a hamstring injury and then obviously going down this year. But yeah, he's an insanely good route runner when he's on there. So definitely see how he could be someone great to learn from, especially early on in camp before he went down. Speaking of coming into camp, you came in with a few other rookies there who are still on the team with Josh Hayes, Kayvon Merriweather, a couple guys in Tariq Pitts, and also Keenan Isaac. What's the camaraderie like between you guys in that DB room?
Yeah, we're all super close. Just coming in as a rookie class, we all got really close. Like I'm honestly from day one. Being the DBs of the group and having that type of connection from there. A lot of us undrafted. Josh is the only drafted guy, so just having an underdog mindset. This is our opportunity to make a team and beat the odds. So say just to have a lot of us here still, most of us here still. It's a blessing that we all get to just play this rookie year out together. Learn and grow.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of rookies total. I mean 13 of you guys on this team. It just speaks to the level of competition that you guys came in here and just proved yourself and balled out all throughout the season. I mean through the off season and to make your mark for yourselves. Obviously, you lock down that starting spot on the defense, but Josh and Kayvon have roles on special team that are pretty big, and so does Derek too as well. It's just really really great scouting by the Bucs, and just brings forth they wanted to get younger, faster, smarter. And it seems like they've done that in all three facets. Just wondering, before we get into some of the fun stuff, do you have any games circled on the schedule where you're like, "Ooh, I can't wait for that one"? I know they're not in New York this year, so I mean that would have been, we had the preseason game. You're not even really close to it this season. But is there anything else that you're like, all right, this is a game that I'm excited for?
I would say it probably passed already. It was that New Orleans game in New Orleans. Just hearing about the environment over there, and how their fans got so involved in the games and the who that chant and all that stuff. And I would be lying if I say I'm gonna start that game, just a little bit of nerves and just adjusting into the game because that environment was so what it was. But just hearing about that and the rivalry that we have with them, now that was the game early on. I circled on.
The rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saints week is different. You can sense it in the locker room.
Yeah.
Obviously, the fan base is rabid and stuff, but you can sense in the locker room where this is one that we hate them. They don't like us. We want to beat them any means necessary. It always makes for a good week, good content as well. 6 games in. Are you happy with where you're at?
I feel like there's a lot of things I can clean up, things I can be better in, never really content of where I'm at. I still feel like there's a lot more I can do to my game to, be better and, be the best version of myself out there. That's just from each week growing and learning more stuff while I play. I feel like there's always an edge that I can have on my opponents that I kind of want to have every week. So not really content of where I'm at, but striving for so much more.
Where would you say you've surprised yourself when you're like, okay, I'm better at this than I thought I would be, or this clicks quicker than I thought it would? And then where would you say, like, I got to hone on this because this has hurt me or this has hindered me? What are the two things where this has clicked and I definitely got to focus on this going forward?
Yeah, I would say, this is click moment is just more of like my confidence, like just having the confidence to know I can play with the guys that's on the field, whatever a scout says. Like, yeah, the scouts, they're going to say things like they're not the only ones on the field. So, that their evaluations are not always the greatest or, it varies depending on who's grading you. So, not just taking the confidence of what other people think about you, but, the confidence you have in yourself. And I would say there's just a moment I could just be, or something I could be better at, I would say is just being more trusting of what I see out there, that actually being the case of what it is, as a younger player, sometimes, you're scared to make a mistake, just because you're not really familiar with the game or,
Right.
how it is, but just being more trusting, of what I'm being coached and what I see out there, all we can film and all we can practice, and just trusting that.
What was your I belong here moment? When did that happen? Was it in camp? Was it in one of your games? When were you like, this is me. I belong here. I'm a player. I'm a dude. I can do this.
Yeah, I would just say it was like, throughout the camp days and just like earning my first team reps, getting a chance to, go against guys like you said, Mike and Chris and Russell, on a down to down basis and just be out there, sticking those guys and, they're going out there competing and I'm out there competing and I'm like I don't feel out edged or outmatched out here. I feel really comfortable playing with the starters and just, looking around me in a circle and, seeing who's in there. Guys like Antoine, White, Devin White, Levante, Vito, those guys. So just looking around like, yeah, I'm here and I'm with them guys like right now. So just being
Yeah,
in the moment, yeah, during training camp for sure.
that's awesome. Do you feel like you look at this season, you're like, I'm playing well, I'm confident, I'm comfortable, I'm confident, but man, next season when I don't have all this stuff going on, because I always say for a rookie, even though you're playing excellent, there's so much going on. You're in a new city, new teammates, new playbook. The game is much faster. Sometimes they're still thinking, like you said, just trusting in what you see instead of thinking about it. Do you feel like, man, next year I could ball. I mean, I know you're not looking too far in advance, but still, like when you're comfortable with the playbook, comfortable with the team, comfortable in all your surroundings and everything, and all it is just football. That's all it is. Playing free, playing fast, playing football. Do you ever think like, wow, I'm doing great this year, taking it one game at a time, but full year under my belt, I can't wait for what year 2 looks like, with a full off season in the system.
Yeah, 100%. Just out there, like I said, just out there playing playing by learning every game and listen to the coaching I get from my coaches. But I would say like having a year under my belt, it would feel like just playing again as going from my freshman to sophomore year in college. The transition that I made since then, like of not playing at all, playing 4 games of redshirt to going in there and playing, being a starter or whatever. So
Right.
just having that feeling that I've been here and I'm a year older, having that mindset going into the NFL, I feel like I'll have a great edge. On the next step of confidence of just being out there to play fast and with a year under my belt.
Have they got you for rookie dinner yet?
No, we haven't got it yet.
No, they're waiting. They're waiting.
They're waiting a little bit.
Filled up a little bit so they can get you real
Exactly.
good.
Yep, exactly.
They got you with rookie duties at all?
Yeah. We do the daily rookie duties, carrying things, getting the towels for the vets, getting the food and all that stuff. Yeah, regular stuff.
Any crazy snacks or anything that they request from you guys? Who's got the craziest snack?
I'm trying to think. I think D. Delaney. I think he likes what is he like? Is it Baby Ruth's? I'm like
Baby Ruth candy
Babe,
bar?
I think is it Babe Ruth's? It is some like chocolate that like no one eats. It might be Babe Ruth's. I'm like, no, he's the only one. He wanted the full box of it. The mixed box wasn't enough, so he wanted the full bag of Babe Ruth's.
You gotta buy it from the convenience store. Just convince the guy, just give me the full box. Can't find these anywhere. All right, time for spill the tea on the DB room. Who has the best and worst music tastes?
The best and the worst music taste. I would say we're all pretty balanced on music taste. I would say we all get along with genres. I haven't heard anyone that's outrageous just yet. We're all from different, parts of, each region, East Coast, West Coast guys, some down south guys. But I would say we're all pretty balanced on music.
Gotcha. Maryland's not South, by the way. Who's the messiest?
The messiest, should probably be me. It might be me. Now I'm looking around. Like, my locker always has a lot going on. No, it's probably myself. I'll be having a lot in my locker. I'm one of those guys. I'll bring something to the facility and leave it there, and then I'll just keep bringing stuff. So probably myself.
Who's the loudest?
The loudest would definitely be Derek. Derek is the loudest. Yeah.
Who's the craziest?
The craziest, I would probably say Carlton. He's pretty he's funny crazy, but I would say Carlton's the craziest.
Yeah. I can see that happen right there. He gets that look in the eye sometimes where you're like, I ain't messing with him. Who's the hungriest in there? Who's always eating?
The hungriest, who's the hungriest in our room? It'd definitely be D. Delaney. D. Delaney by far, actually. He has something in the fin every time I see him.
He's eating a Baby Ruth, that's why.
Exactly.
All right, we'll end it real quick with a this or that. It's just gonna be rapid fire questions here, and then a favorites, and then we'll get you out of here. I want to thank you so much for your time. Obviously, off day, so kind of rest and relax. But thank you for so much coming on. I hope this has been a great chance for fans to kind of get to know you more too, and we'll let them get to know you a little more personally right now with the rapid fire questions of this or that, Xbox or PlayStation.
PlayStation.
What's your go-to game right now?
Right now, right before we got off here, I was on 2K. So,
Okay.
Get that new 2K this year, yeah.
Okay. Are you a beach or a mountains guy?
Beach. I grew up on the beach.
Okay. I think I know the answer to this. City or country?
City. I'm from New York City, baby.
Absolutely. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Who's your favorite hero?
Growing up, it was Batman. But I was a cliche as Superman, I would say, right? Like he has everything and he's the strongest. I would say Superman, honestly.
Right, yeah, you got him down. Any villain that you're like, because villains are always more interesting, I feel like, and they're always cooler looking.
Villain. Who's my favorite villain?
Like I always like Carnage. I thought he was just sick looking with the red and black.
That is a good one.
I
have to get back to my favorite. I don't know what my favorite villain is.
I will come back to it.
Yeah.
Car or truck?
Car guy, sedan.
Okay. What are you whipping?
Right now, I had the car I had in college. I had a Q50, Infinity Q50. Yeah.
Haven't upgraded it. Any big purchases so far?
Huge purchases, no. I would say like my biggest. I just went this bye week. I went to New York. I got a hotel in the city, and that was outrageously amount. But
yeah, especially you got family, everyone coming out. Like you expect you to get the tab. You start by, let's get the Louis King Louis. I'm 12 years. Let's get the scotch. 1845. Let's go. 2 bottles.
Exactly.
Right, like, God damn. Chill, guys. You're more of a movie guy or a TV series guy?
I would definitely say, no, I love a good movie. I love a good movie. Yeah.
Watch anything good recently?
I've been on Netflix often. Just watching a bunch of new movies out there. Not a lot of new ones really though. Maybe some reruns. My favorite. I like Law Abiding Citizen. I
Yeah.
love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies.
Oh.
Catalea.
Haven't seen that one.
Okay, that's a good one. And let's think. What's one more? One more's a really good one. What's the one? Slumdog Millionaire.
That's a good one. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that movie. Yeah.
Definitely seen that one. Which brings us to favorites. So favorite movie. We just got it. Law Abiding Citizen. You'd say is your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite sports team growing up?
I grew up a Giants fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
I grew up in an era where it was just
I know.
the winning era, and it's all I seen in New York. The Jets weren't, the Jets had to run with Sanchez for a little bit, but yeah, I grew up running parades.
Yeah, that's great. I'm from Boston, so I don't like ruined my perfect season.
Yeah, that's tough.
So it's funny, I came down here, and a year later after I moved down here, Brady must have missed me because he came down here and brought Gronk with him, and then I started covering the team the same year. It's like, oh, what are we doing here? We're here together. Favorite place you've ever visited?
I had an opportunity to go to some really nice places. I've been to Aruba, Costa Rica, DR. I would say Costa Rica. Costa Rica is the most beautiful place. They have the excursion. We do the zip line, and you can, zip line through the mountains and stuff is really beautiful. Yeah.
That's on my bucket list for sure. My buddy's from there, so I've always wanted to hit there. Favorite food?
I'm a wings guy, honestly. I love, I can order wings probably every night, which I probably won't do, but if I could, I would.
Yeah, I mean, if they're dry rubbed, there's no harm.
Exactly.
No
So already. I tell you, dry rubbed. Can't never go wrong with some good dry rub, lemon pepper wings, things like that.
Exactly. Are you a dry rub guy or a sauce guy?
I'm a dry rub guy.
Yeah, okay. Do you do, it's not my podcast, but blue cheese or celery? Or ranch?
I'm a blue cheese guy.
Yeah, ranch is for the birds. Favorite cereal?
Favorite cereal, cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Easy. Done. I mean, is there any debate really? It's the best cereal out there. If you say Lucky Charms, I might be like,
Lucky Charms, or I can see a Fruit Loops here and there, but
right. But cinnamon Toast Crunch, I just bought some yesterday. I'm gonna have some. Why does cereal hit so much better at night too?
That is, why? Because I think the cliche of the morning,
right.
You're really not that hungry, and then cereal is more of a craving thing.
Right.
So, yeah, night is better for sure.
It hits so much better at night. I might have some after this podcast. I just bought a fresh box. Favorite game you ever watched, and don't say the one I think you're gonna say.
Favorite sports game I ever watched?
Yeah.
Honestly, does it have to be NFL?
Any game.
My favorite sports game I ever watched, it might have to be the 2016 finals with the Golden State Warriors and Cleveland Cavaliers, or 2017 finals. I want to say Game 6, maybe Game 6, Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
That might have been the best game I ever watched.
Okay. That's I've had 3 guys on here, Yaya and JTS, and they both said the Ray Allen corner shot in Game 6 against the Mavs.
That's a good one.
Basketball's been a theme there. Easy one. Favorite color?
Orange.
Orange. That's different. So you must have loved rocking those creamsicles.
Oh my God, the creamsicles! I didn't know we were wearing them until earlier this year, and I was telling guys I had an outfit already planned for it. And
okay.
Yeah, I love orange.
Okay, you got that drip going. You kept the jersey, I'm sure, right?
Of course, definitely.
You had to keep that one. I saw Tristan. Who was it? Penny Sewell was trying to.
Guys were asking for the job. Not this one.
Keep this
I'll send you one, but not this one.
Right. Your favorite TV show?
A TV show growing up, Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh, that was a great one.
I love that show.
That was a great one. Anything now that you're you've been binging?
Rewatching over again, Ballers is great with The Rock. Yeah, rewatching that in the league now is actually being in the league, actually seeing it and going through it. It's kind of funny watching it now from a different perspective rather than watching it in high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just rewatched Entourage. That was great. I mean,
really?
So
yeah, that's a good one too.
Favorite sports memory?
Favorite sports memory.
Is it
Wow.
that 4 takeaway game?
Honestly, no, we lost. We believe it or not, we lost that game. So it wasn't a great one. It wasn't my favorite one. I would say probably high school. I would say the game I got offered to Rutgers. I had 3 touchdowns in the first half, and Rutgers on the sideline of my game, and then the coach just left at halftime. And I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. So I'm just like, I hope I did enough. But yeah,
Hope so.
find out exactly. And find out I got offered after that. That was my favorite game for sure.
That's awesome. Dessert. Favorite dessert.
Favorite dessert, I would go Haagen-Dazs. Let's go Haagen-Dazs. Cookies and cream.
Yeah, cookies and cream's classic.
Exactly.
It's even better when you sandwich it between a chocolate chip cookie, fresh baked. Those are fun. Favorite season.
Favorite season. I would probably say spring. I'm a spring baby. Right before summer, spring.
Perfect. What is spring hating on me because I ain't never sprung.
Hello, Wayne there. Yep.
Favorite player growing up.
NBA or NFL or anything.
Anything, and NFL and whatever. We've got another one too.
Favorite player, Cam Newton, NFL. Cam Newton, because I love the Carolina Panthers. I grew up kind of watching them. For some reason I don't know why I played with them in Madden all the time, using Steve Smith, D'Angelo Hall, Jonathan Stewart, those guys, Jake Delhomme. Like for some reason I just played with the Panthers. So seeing his run through Carolina and having that magical season he had when he won MVP and them having that great year, it was just probably my favorite time of watching sports.
That's awesome. Yeah, he was a game changer. Didn't do too hot with the Patriots, but yeah, definitely magical with the Panthers. Favorite game you played? Was it that one that you had that you got the offer from, or was there one in college or anything like that that you're like, this is my favorite game I've ever played in, or was it a pro game as it already started?
Yeah, I would say probably my favorite game, despite the outcome, was my 4 takeaway game. It wasn't my best. It wasn't like my favorite game outcome, but as far as just last game of the season, building all that recognition up for the next season, that was probably my favorite, personal game. Yeah.
Just out there in the zone, just balling out, and
exactly.
Score outcome doesn't show it, but you just out there having a blast playing football in the zone. Show what you can do. That's awesome. Man, Christian, this has been awesome. I kept you over a little bit. That seems to be the theme when I get players on. We just get in such a groove in the conversation. And I want to thank you so much for coming on here. Do you have anything you want to tell the Bucs fans out there who may be listening to this? Obviously where they can find you, Chris Crafty. Is it one?
It's underscore. Yeah.
Underscore. Okay. Underscore one.
No, at Chris Crafty underscore on Twitter and at Only Crafty on Instagram.
Yeah, so follow him there. He's got great stuff. He's always one to throw some good one-liners out there too. But any message you want for the fans to give them?
Yeah, we appreciate all you guys that come out and support. We got a chance to go today to the Cancer Treatment Center and off day, just see some of those fans and there and how high spirits they are. Just getting a chance to be more interactive in the Tampa community. I realize and see how much love and fans we have, and I just ask you guys to keep supporting, keep showing up and keep cheering us on.
There you guys have it. Christian Izien, starting nickelback, slot corner, big safety, whatever you want to call him these days. But he's the starter there. He's earned it as an undrafted guy coming out of Rutgers, making an impact early on for the Buccaneers. Christian, thank you so much for coming on here. And I'll talk to you later this week in the locker room, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me. Talk to you soon.
Later. There he is, Christian Izien. Been a beast so far this season for the Buccaneers. 2 interceptions, making his play known. He's getting a chance to get after the quarterback a little bit now in that zone. So versatile, can play nickel, can play strong, can play free. Bowles loves having a guy like that he can use all over the field. That's going to do it for this episode of Pirate Parlay on the Sick Podcast Network. We'll be back this week previewing the Falcons with Will McFadden from Believe Network. And then next week, who knows? Maybe we'll have another player. Maybe we'll have another coach. I don't know. Stay tuned to find out. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. So every time we put out a new pod, you get an update. But that's going to do it for me. That's going to do it for us here at the Sick Podcast Network and Pirate Parlay. We're out of here. Peace.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Pirate Parlay on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.